Tim here from Lizard Lick, the apex of civilization.
Lizard Lick, Kentucky.
Yes. The only thing I know is Lizard Lick Towing, which was a show that we ended up getting at one point. One thing I seem to see more of is wrestlers.
We had Lizard Lick.
Lizard Lick Towing. It was like a towing company.
But we had
a reality
them one time.
show. You had
Yeah,
them?
I know that. No, I thought you said.
No, we had the show. We had the show over here.
Oh, okay.
We got it. One thing I seem to see more of is wrestlers complaining that they are being held down. I can understand complaining if the champ is holding the book, but other than that, it seems to make sense that anyone would want to stay on top for the money, merchandising, and potential outside benefits for as long as you could. I've seen some names mentioned more than once, but I'd like to know if this is a widespread problem or just sour grapes. If it's an issue, what talents were the worst about stifling competition? Thanks in advance. So basically, it's almost a two-pronged question here. So which wrestlers would complain the most about being held down, and which wrestlers would hold talent down the most?
Well, you can always hear, well, they held me back there. They held you back from what? I mean, did they give you even a shot at all and saw how you were going to do? You never hear that. But yeah, they were guys held down and not giving. And what they're saying is that the main event would be somebody like Jerry Lawler versus somebody, where it should have been in the guy's head a babyface versus this other heel. So, but Lawler ends up getting the money. And rightfully so, I think, in a lot of cases, because he was like the top babyface. Same deal may have worked in Florida when Dusty held that top spot for so long. He held down the other talent or the top talent, and he didn't give them a chance to really show what he could do or what they could do. But Lawler and Dusty weren't stupid. They knew if they held them down, just revise your payoff routine. Pay him more for being in the spot. And it's not like you're charging somebody else. He's charging you. That money that you pay them is just coming off the other guys. See, if I had a graph up in front of me, you could see what I'm talking about. Do you understand what I'm talking about?
I understand exactly what you're talking about. I've got a name I've written down here that I seem to remember as one of those people who would say that he was always held down. But can you, before I give you this name, can you think of anybody who would always make that complaint, whether it's true or not?
I don't know.
I've got one name here, Brickhouse Brown.
He wasn't held down. He was actually pushed beyond his potential. And what it was, I don't think you could draw a cartoon figure with him, really. If you took a 7-Eleven, a marquee,
Sharpie,
you couldn't draw. Yeah, you couldn't draw a stick figure with whatever Brickhouse Brown could draw. I got in a ring with him one night, and when I was working with Snowman was over. Big time over. And guess how many holes he knew?
Probably like 2.
0, probably. But I didn't give a shit how many holes he knew. All he had to know was 2, a headlock and a punch. I'm going to do the rest of it. So when you go to a town and the Snowman's on top, and the little town does like $7,000 or $8,000. Well, where did that money come from? Brickhouse, you were on the card, but you was like third match. And you look at where the other guy was against me. He was up there. We had worked an angle, but I have worked some matches with Brickhouse. He was literally lost. I got some heat on him one night, And I told him, okay, block the punch, make a comeback. Well, he blocked the punch and hit me, then stood there. I said, block it again and hit me. Did it again. Block it again and hit me. Boom. Well, this time the people going down every time. I said, make a goddamn comeback. Why don't you? Please do something. And he finally made it, and it pissed me off. But then I cut him off. Oh, see, if you don't know enough to do your own work, you don't need a chance to be the main event guy. So what towns did he say he was cheated on?
I don't know. I remember something. I think we may have brought it up on a podcast ages ago, where he was something like that Dutch Mantell booked me wrong, or someone booked him wrong, or something like that, and
yeah,
he never made it to the WWF really, and that kind of thing.
What's that tell you? Hey, don't blame me. If you don't make it to the WWF, you blame me?
I never made it to the WWF, and I blame you, Dutch.
Well, I could have had something to do with it. But, hey, I'm going to tell everybody now that's training to be a wrestler, go out there and take control of your own destiny. Go out there. If the people are popping, you're doing something right. And if they're popping, get them to where they're not popping anymore, then go back and look at what you've done. Don't mean you've done it all right, but you did learn something. So I hope you can learn that and take it and use it to get you where you want to get.